In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply out a single bracket using the grid method. We're assuming that you already know your rules for integers, especially multiplying them and tidying them up. And here's how it goes. The grid method. We've got 3 times this bracket, and the bracket contains 2x plus 4. Well, to set up the grid, it's a multiplication grid. This looks like your times tables, ones you've seen in primary school. The bracket goes along the top, and outside the bracket goes down the side. And just like your times tables, we just start to multiply things together. So 3 times 2x, well that's 3 sets of 2x, gives me 6x. And 3 times 4 is 12. And there you go. Final answer is 6x plus 12. Now that was nice and simple. The next one involves negatives and things like that, so it's slightly trickier, so I'll slightly level up, and your rules for integers are really important here. So again, set up the grid as before. First the bracket goes along the top, and outside the bracket goes down the side. This time, negative 3 times negative 4y. Well, that's negative 3 times negative 4y gives you a positive number, and it's 12y. And negative 3 times negative 5. Negative times a negative gives you a positive answer, and that gives me plus 13. So, final answer to this is 12y plus 15. And the final one, we've got x's and y's all together here, so you have to be very good with your rules for integers. So negative 3x times 2x, we'll multiply, well before we multiply let's put the bracket in along the top, and outside the bracket down the side. Negative 3x times 2x, we'll multiply the numbers together to give you negative 6, and multiply the letters together. X times x is x squared. Second part, multiply the numbers together. Negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. Multiply the letters together. X times y is just xy. So the final answer here is negative 6x squared plus 15xy. Now that's a very simple ones. Can't get any simpler than that, I don't think, at this stage. Let's try something a wee bit more difficult. When we have some terms that are not inside the bracket or not connected to the bracket. So let's just make up a couple of wee questions here. Let's go for 4y bracket 2x minus 4 plus 2x. Something like that. Well, to do this question, let's look at the grid method first. So let's make our grid and work out the bracket. So the bracket goes along the top, outside the bracket goes down the side. Notice we don't do anything to do with the 2x just now. That has nothing to do with the bracket. So we work this bit out first, and then we tidy up at the end. So this one, multiply the numbers together, gives me 8. Multiply the letters together, gives me xy. And the second term, multiply the numbers together, that's negative 16. And we just have y times 1, which is just y. So we have, for the bracket, multiplied it out, we get that term, and we're still to add on the 2x, which is nothing to do with the bracket. So we've got rid of the bracket, we've got the answer to that, and we add on the 2x at the end. Now we tidy it up if we can. So looking at this here, we've got 8xy minus 16y, and we've got a 2x. We can't tidy anything up, there's nothing there, it's the same. very important to understand that xy is different from x, and xy is different from y. We don't have anything common there, they're all different, so you can't tidy that up. Let's look at one we can tidy up. So let's go for minus 5e bracket. Let's put, I don't know, let's put a 4 in there, minus 3e, and we'll put something at the end, maybe put in plus 12e or something like that. Okay. So again, deal with the bracket first. So here's our bracket on the top, and outside goes down the side, so this is our grid. Multiply it out, so negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. Multiply the letters together, it's just e, so it's negative 20e. Second term, negative 5 times negative 3 is a positive 15. Multiply the letters together, e times e is e squared, and that's us multiplied out our bracket. But we've still got the bit at the end, what, a 12e. Well, let's tidy it all up now. Well, we've got negative 20e plus 12e. So if we look at these two terms, these are the same, so if I underline these two, these are the same thing, so we can tidy them up. So negative 20e plus another 12e, well, we need negative 12 of these to cancel out with 12 positives. That would give us overall 0, but we're still left with another negative 8e, so the answer to that is negative 8e plus 15e squared. Again, we can't tidy that anymore. E squared is totally different from e, and that's our final answer. I'm going to do another couple, sort of harder type again. This is where you have to know your rules for indices and see what happens to the powers. So let's go for 2x squared 3 plus x. Let's see where that takes us. Again, set up our grid. Bracket goes along the top, and outside goes down the side. Again, we just multiply out, so multiply the numbers together. 2 times 3 is 6. Multiply the letters, well, we've only got x squared, so it's x squared. So it's 6x squared for the first term. Second term, multiply the numbers together. Remember, there's a 1 here that you don't see, so 2 times 1 is 2. X squared times x, you know from your indices rules that that's x cubed. That's x to the power of 1, although we never put the 1 in. We add the powers. That's why it's x cubed. Okay, that's quite a tricky one, that. Let's try another one. Let's go for negative 3y cubed y squared minus 2y. That looks really quite tricky. Set up our grid. But we're just doing the same thing over and over again. Bracket goes along the top, and outside the bracket goes down the side. And let's apply our rules for indices and for integers as well. So negative 3 times 1, remember there's a 1 there that we don't see, that's 1 y squared, so negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Y cubed times y squared gives me y to the 5. You add the powers. So it's important that you know that you add the powers. And the second term, multiply negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6. Multiply the letters together, y to the 4. Remember, that's the power of 1, although you don't see the 1. You add the powers, that gives you 4. And your final answer there is minus 3y to the power 5 plus 6y to the 4. Okay, can't tidy them up, they're different. Okay, y to the power 4, y to the power 5 are totally different. It's the same idea over here, didn't write that one totally out. Our final answer here is that, and they're totally different. That is different from that. Okay. One last type I want to give you is where you have the bracket at the end of an expression, or even in the middle. So let's go for 5 minus 2 bracket x minus 4. Something like that. Okay, well, we deal with the bracket first again. So set up our grid. So x minus 4 along the side, so along the top, and the minus 2 down the side. It's important that you realise that this is to do with the number, or this operation is to do with the number, so that's negative 2. Okay, negative 2, so negative 2 goes down the side, multiply it out, that's negative 2x, and that's a positive 8. But we're not finished there, that's us done the bracket, so going back to the top and rewriting that in terms of expanding the bracket, we have negative 2x plus 8. Now we have just two numbers there, so we can tidy that up. 5 and 8 is 13. So the final answer is minus 2x plus 13. Right, let's try and put everything together in the final example. So let's put negative 7 minus 3x bracket 4y minus x plus 3x squared. Just made that up. So let's look at how we would tackle that. Quite a lot to this. So let's deal with the bracket first. So let's get my grid sorted out. So what I'm doing is I'm evaluating this part here, and then we'll rewrite it in terms of the expansion, and then we'll just tidy up. So doing this wee bit here, bracket along the top, negative 3x down the side, and let's work that out. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, multiply the letters together, you get xy. And the next bit, negative 3 times negative 1, remember there's a 1 there that you don't see, that gives you a positive 3. Multiply the letters together, x times x is x squared. So that answer there is the answer to all of this. So let's rewrite the top out again, so it's minus 7 minus 12x squared plus 3x squared plus 3x squared. That's that part there, down here. So can we tidy things up? Yes, well, we can tidy these two things up. These two things are x squares and x squares. We can tidy that up. So if we add these two together, 3x squared plus an is 6x squared. 6x squared minus 12xy minus 7. And that's it finished. Can't do any more than that. Okay, can't tidy anything else. That's us multiplying out a bracket using the grid method, and hopefully lots of different types there, and hopefully I've answered your questions on that. Okay.